Thank you, Your Royal Highness, for sharing your thoughts, visions, and ambitions about technology and the future of Luxembourg with us.
And continuing about the future of Luxembourg and the rapid development of artificial intelligence, we have a very special fireside chat with Prime Minister Frieden and Arthur Mensch, the co-founder and CEO of Mistral AI. Please help me welcome them to the stage with a thunderous applause. Nice to meet you. Maybe here? Or maybe here? Yeah. Here would be... Okay. Yes, that would be perfect. So thank you for joining us in this very special fireside in the opening ceremony of Nexus Luxembourg 2025. And one of our crucial themes of Nexus is actually artificial intelligence and AI. So that's what this fireside chat will be about, and we'll cover these themes. So my first question would be to Prime Minister Frieden. Under your leadership, Luxembourg has taken a lead in the AI domain, and it is one of the 13 AI factories in Europe with the opening of supercomputer Melexina. So how do you see the country's progress on AI unfold by 2030?
First of all, I think that you need to have a vision for your country, and you have to embrace in that vision, and that's certainly the case of my government, technological developments. So to remain a modern country and to be a leader in certain areas, you also in this context need to embrace AI. And so while many in the world are saying that this has a lot of risks that come with it, we see mostly an opportunity in it. So that is the first point. The second point in this vision is that we believe that AI has to go together with a sovereign data economy that is actually part of a sovereign data economy. And by that, I mean especially in a complex geopolitical environment, that we should be sure who controls the data. And if I say sovereign, that does not mean Luxembourg is sovereign, but I think in terms of a European sovereignty. And so that is a key element in making sure that we have a Europe, and in that a strong Luxembourg, where we have the right data and that we control what we do with those data. And that, in turn, is, of course, extremely important for AI to succeed. Then next to that vision, this philosophy, we need the right infrastructure. The right infrastructure, you mentioned, these supercomputers, is extremely important that we have adequate amount of data centers, that we have appropriate energy at acceptable cost, and all that is important to make the vision a reality. The reality also means that we need to have use cases. AI cannot just stay there as a theoretical thought. We need to apply it for businesses, for people, for governments, yes, for everybody, for humanity. And therefore you need partners. You need partners in Luxembourg and around Luxembourg. And that is why I'm very happy to sit here together with Arthur Mensch, the CEO of Mistral AI. And just before coming here, we signed together a strategic partnership between the Government of Luxembourg and Mistral AI, which is the leading European AI company, to make sure that we collaborate for the businesses, for private people, to make, for the government. We have embarked the process of identifying projects where Mistral can help the Luxembourg government to work better, faster, but also in the interest of all people. And I think that is really the way we want to go forward. A vision, an infrastructure, and partners that are coming from other places in Europe. And by that, we strengthen the European AI sovereignty. And by the way, this partnership that we signed this morning, we discussed it for the first time at the AI Summit in Paris. We met then, we discussed, because we believe, like some others at this AI Summit in Paris, that Europe has a role to play in the future of AI.
Wow, that's amazing and incredible. And I think one thing which is so special is the use of AI for, as you said, better governance, enhancing mankind. And I think that partnership is the key to doing this. So could we actually give a huge round of applause for this strategic partnership? Because it's amazing. And some of you may remember, as Sophia said last year, technology is only good if it is used for the purpose of enhancement of mankind. So actually, continuing on this thread, hello Arthur, and welcome to Luxembourg, first of all. And congratulations on your newly announced partnership with NVIDIA at VivaTech, and also on your newly announced partnership on this stage in Nexus with Luxembourg. So thank you so much for that. So Mistral AI is a unicorn, and it has a valuation of 5 billion euros. How do you see the next leg of your company in terms of technology and growth? And what are some key milestones ahead, specifically with partnerships?
So I guess first, thank you very much for hosting us. And I should say, to add to what Mr. Prime Minister you said just before, that we've been impressed by the speed and execution of the team and the conviction that your team had on executing fast and on bringing AI to be used for citizens. And so I think that's very telling of the right governance that you've set on technology. And so thank you very much for helping us make that happen. For us, and we've announced a few aspects around expanding toward infrastructure last week, but what we see today is that compared to when we started 2 years ago, we're starting to see real use case, real value being created in enterprises, being created in public services. What AI brings is the capacity to scale communication, and it brings, in particular for public services, the ability to make sure that every citizen has access to the information it needs, has access to the services it needs, and that's true for education, that's going to be true for education, that's going to be true for healthcare, that's going to be true for anything that is related to being a citizen in a country. And so the partnership that we're announcing today is really, I think, a template for what could be done in all countries in the world. As you mentioned, sovereignty in AI is going to be extremely important. We're talking about a technology that is going to drive multiple digits of the GDP, that is going to be involved in a lot of strategic aspects around defense as well. And I guess perhaps more importantly, this is a content generating technology. So what that means is that we're talking about models that are generating text, that are orchestrating workflows, that are helping taking decisions. And when you're deploying such technology, you need to make sure of two things. First of all, that you have the keys to turn it on and turn it off. Because if you start deploying it on infrastructure that is critical to the functioning of a country, then you really want to make sure that nobody can tell you, if you don't tell me what I want you to do, I'm going to turn it off. So that's an important aspect. And then there's a more cultural aspect, content aspect, which is to say, I have certain values that I want my systems to respect. I want my systems to follow certain guardrails. I want them to know about my culture. I want them to know about my language. And I think in those aspects, you do what we believe is that there's no one solution that fits all. We need to work with local partners. We need to collaborate with universities to bring local knowledge, local culture into the systems themselves. And so that's what we've been doing across multiple countries that we are announcing today with Luxembourg. We've been doing it in Southeast Asia. And we do expect that in Europe in particular, which is as multicultural as you can find, there are multiple opportunities in building AI systems that can be deployed with all control that you need, and that can be customized to incorporate values and the specificity of every region where we operate.
That's amazing, and thank you for that. And sovereign AI is very important, and as you actually mentioned, AI will definitely bring a huge boost to the global economy. In fact, JP Morgan Research estimates that the AI boom can bring between $7 to $10 trillion by 2030, which is an increase by 10% to the global economy. So now that we've kind of looked ahead to the future a little bit, let's step back a few years. You co-founded Mistral AI 2 years ago in 2023, and now it is Europe's bright star in AI. So let's talk a little bit about the inspiration behind the origin of Mistral AI. Is there a meaning behind the name Mistral?
I guess Mistral, as you may know, although it doesn't blow here, it's actually a French wind. And there's an I and an A, which are the two vowels of Mistral. That happens to mean intelligence artificielle, and so for those here that speaks French, and I guess many of you do, that means artificial intelligence. So that's probably why we came up with this name.
And is there a specific distinguishing philosophy of Mistral?
Well, I guess the reason why we created the company is that my two co-founders and I were scientists in big tech companies, and we thought this was an inflection point in technology. And with any inflection point comes opportunity to actually bring a new offering to the market. And what we realized is that the offering that were there in 2023 were extremely centralized. So the pitch that you could hear was, go to us, bring us your data, connect everything to our centralized control system, and we're going to deploy AI. We will build AGI. We will become the only provider of such a technology. And we wanted AI and, I guess, general purpose models and maybe at some point AGI to be more decentralized. So we thought no states are going to want to depend on a single company to actually deploy the technology. So let's build open systems. Let's build systems that can be deployed everywhere, that can be customized, and bring them to everyone. Do some knowledge transfer, work with enterprises to make them empowered in AI. So we wanted to promote that more decentralized system, that more empowering system, and we thought it was actually needed in the world. And so that was like the vision, and that's still the vision we have. And then opportunistically, what we realized is that Europe had a very big talent pool in AI, and that those people actually wanted to do something else than work in big tech companies. And so that's how we started. We got 15 people out of different big techs with a lot of expertise, and we worked on fully science for the first 8 months, released open source models, took leadership there. And ever since, we've been building the company around the product that is sitting on top of models to build applications, and also around the expertise, the forward deployment team, the knowledge transfer team that actually works with enterprises and make them empowered, help them build value with AI.
Amazing. That's really interesting. And actually, that makes me wonder, Prime Minister Frieden, how do you view Luxembourg adopting AI to improve the standards of living, bringing ease of governance, and preparing the students of tomorrow?
AI will impact all aspects of life. And so we need now to identify the use cases where it has the biggest impact. I think there are many areas, and that's also why in this memorandum that we signed this morning, we identified a number of areas, but some of them we do not yet know today, because we said we should work together with academia and research. We should work together with institutions or parts of the institutions like the Luxembourg Army. We will work together on how to speed up the implementation of EU laws into national legislation with the large language models. So I think there are numerous aspects where AI can help us to shape the world in a different manner. Health, space, finance, areas in which we are active, I think there also AI can play a major role. But again, I want to bring that into the more general philosophy of our country. For a country to shape the future, you need to do something. Some people believe that the status quo can assure you that you remain where you are. We believe that if there are technological progress, you need to embrace it. You need to explore things. And to remain a leading country in finance, to remain a leading country in space, you need to add AI to it. And that is the philosophy with which we are going forward. The other aspect, which is very dear to our heart and our philosophies, that we believe in an open economy that means also cross-border cooperations. So while we are sitting here together, that also goes for other companies in the audience and beyond. Luxembourg became what it is today because we were always open-minded, open to foreign investors, trying to speak different languages, trying to have a public service that is at the service of the companies who want to use Luxembourg as a gateway to Europe and to the world. And for AI, that is also what we want to achieve.
Thank you so much, and it's really cool to see how AI will touch almost all of our domains in the next 5 to 10 years. Arthur, there is a widespread fear about AI threatening jobs, and the job loss versus job enrichment debate has become heated. So what message would you like to give to our audience, and how should they prepare themselves to be an AI-proof career?
So I don't think that AI is going to change and remove jobs anytime soon. On the other hand, it does change the nature of the work that we need to be doing. There's a lot of tasks that, that AI allows to do today, which are around synthesizing information, which are around taking information and doing research, that are actually very much facilitated with AI. But you still need to have a human in the loop to actually control, give it goals, give it feedback. And so what we see happening today is not really a replacement, but more of a symbiosis in between AI and humans. And in order for this symbiosis to happen, I think what is very important is to focus on training teams and on skilling teams. So that's true for high school, that's true in universities. Students need to be learning differently, and they need to be learning about how to use AI, because a lot of the tasks that they will be asked to do are going to involve using AI. Today, if you're a software developer, for instance, you should really learn software development, knowing that you have access to generators of code and things that can help you go very fast when it comes to building. So what that tells you is that there's a lot of things that you will no longer need to know in detail, but the one thing you will still need to know very strongly is how to be curious, how to have ideas, and how to use AI to leverage those ideas. So it will give bonus points to creativity. And so I think what we need to learn in enterprises and in schools is really how to be more creative and how to unleash your potential, knowing that you have AI agents that are operating on the background that are going to drive your productivity forward. So it's not about replacing jobs, it's really about replacing the nature of work. And that will take some effort. I think everybody needs to look at how to use it, needs to be using it every day and figuring out what are the frontiers. There are things that do not work yet and that you need to know about those limits or as well. And if you do so as a worker, you will have a lot more agency, and that's how we will be driving productivity forward. So for me, the biggest thing is really to learn about the technology and to learn how to embrace it, the same way we have with smartphones, the same way we have with the internet. This is not different. This is more powerful, but we can do it, and we've always been able to adapt to the new tools that humanity has created.
Wow, thank you so much for this uplifting message. So be curious, upskill, and leverage AI. Honorable Prime Minister, what is your vision for Luxembourg becoming ground zero in innovation to support European growth?
First of all, I fully share the view that Arthur just mentioned. I think education plays a key role there. The general education, but also then more sophisticated degrees that prepare the people for using the new tools in an appropriate manner. And we have also embarked on offering programs at the university that especially focus in that direction. In general, I think we need to be open to technological development. As a government, we need to create the right framework, not to say, wow, this is too difficult, this might create risks, but say, wow, this is something new, let's try it. And that's the philosophy that we need to have. We did so, I think, in many areas in the past. When the fintechs arrived, traditional banks were worried. When the internet came, probably many people thought, how can we control the information? How do we identify the right information from the wrong information? And we are still struggling with that in the social media today. But still, if you look back, each technological progress has brought big advantages for the population. And I think it's our role as a country who wants to be a leader in the sovereign data economy, who wants to be a leader in financial services, who wants to have a leading role in space, satellites, and so on, to use the new technology, including, of course, AI, data, quantum technology, to create an ecosystem, a multicultural, an international ecosystem where this can be a showcase for the rest of Europe. That is our ambition.
Thank you so much for this bright and uplifting message about the future of Luxembourg in the heart of Europe. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. Thank you, Prime Minister Frieden, for sharing your insights and time. Thank you. Thank you, Arthur Mensch, as well, for sharing your views. And let's respect them with a thunderous applause. Thank you so much.